Whatever gets me.
Frankly, I'd suggest we stay here instead. I hate bugs. What fresh hell is this?
It's a good day to fight.
Couldn't you send me somewhere? Weaklings!
Can we get a move on? Please?
I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this.
Hurry up! Move your feet!
I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. This won't hurt. Ugh, sun's a tad strong. I've never been there before.
It is an honor to be consumed by my flames!
I've never been there before. Do you really think you'll survive this?
This is boring! Can I get there with fire instead?
I've never been there before. I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. The Merchant's Guild doesn't work their mules this hard. This won't hurt much. I'll fly there.
You got nerf.
The Merchant's
Can't
Guild
cancel,
doesn't
yeah.
work their mules this hard. Does your life mean that little to you? Do you really think you'll survive this?
I hate...
Does your life mean that little to you? This won't hurt much. The Merchant's Guild doesn't work. I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this.
Not far too highly of themselves.
I'll fly there. This won't hurt much. Weaklings! Couldn't you send me somewhere closer? I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. Does your life mean that little to you?
Another one for the garbage pile.
I'll fly there. Do you really think you'll survive this? I've never been there before. Weaklings.
Fine. I hope you thought this through. Can we get a move on?
Please.
Do you really think you'll survive this? I'll fly there. Couldn't you send me somewhere closer?
I
Go.
hate bugs. What fresh hell is this?
Ugh, sun's a tad strong. I've never been there before.
Fine. I hope you've thought this through.
Okay, that covers. No, that's tank. It's trying to get you.
Okay, where's Echo in 25?
Echo is we cannot bring any refreshes or anything.
Yeah, 25 just gathering their max possible numbers down below. I want to go to NTS, but WV's already doing that. NTS will just run. Well, we can do nothing but play for trades. All we have is Echo between us and 25 between us. I mean, we can push 25, but they're just gathering their massive ball right outside their safe zone. We get no reinforcements coming in. No, fuck it. Let's go to Echo. Everyone slide up, slide up. They'll probably follow us immediately, but is what it is. We'll be right next to our safe zone, so... This is like the worst thing I've ever war-leaded in my life. What the fuck is this? What do I even do?
Can't do much. Also, wasn't Rage gonna be pushing? Like, they're nowhere to be seen on the field either.
Yeah, I don't...
The Merchant's Guild doesn't work their mules this hard. This won't hurt much. I'll fly there. I've never been there before. Weaklings. Couldn't you send me somewhere closer? I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. Ugh, sun's a tad... Does your life mean that little to you? Do you really think you'll survive this?
Fire!
Go, 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 go!
Move your feet!
Does your life mean that little to you? I hope more.
Fine. I hope you thought this through.
Weaklings. Child's play. The Merchant's Guild doesn't work their mules this hard. I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. This won't hurt. Much more. Couldn't you send me somewhere closer? I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. Does your life mean that little to you? I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this.
This is boring. Can I go play with fire instead?
This won't hurt. Much. Does your life mean that little to you?
Scumbag.
I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. Do you really think you'll survive this? Couldn't you send me somewhere closer?
Let's go, let's go!
Does your life mean that little to you?
Not far too highly of them.
Do you really think you'll survive this? I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this.
Not far too high.
Does your life mean that little
Wipe
to
them.
you?
Go!
Do you really think you'll survive this? Couldn't you say? I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this.
Echo running! Let's go! Where are you running at? Echo?
This won't hurt. Much. Weaklings. I've never been there before. Does your life mean that little to you?
The storm is in my...
I need my herbal lemon. I'll kill ya.
I've never been there before. Ugh, so, do you really think you'll survive this? I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. Do you really think you'll survive this? The Merchant's Guild doesn't work their mules this hard. Couldn't you send me somewhere closer? I'll fly there. This won't hurt much. I've never been weaklings. I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. Couldn't you send me somewhere closer? Ugh, do you really think you'll survive
Nice.
this?
Oh, okay.
This won't hurt much. I've never been there before.
Then this is that.
Weaklings.
Knock.
I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. Ugh, sun's a tad strong. Does your life mean that little to you? Do you really think you'll survive this?
Nothing will stay.
I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. I'll fly there. Weaklings. I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. The merchant. Weaklings.
Let's go.
Does your life mean that little to you? I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. Weaklings.
Yeah, it worked. It worked. It worked. It worked.
This won't hurt
No.
much. Weaklings. This won't hurt much.
Bunch of scumbags.
Does your life mean that little? Couldn't you send me somewhere closer? This won't hurt much. I'll
Nice push,
fly
guys.
there.
Let's go.
Do you really think you'll survive this? I've never been there before. I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. Do you really think you'll survive this? Sun's fit.
Another one for the garbage pile. Bunch of scumbags.
Does your life mean that little to you?
Are you trying to tell me what to do?
Do you really think you'll survive this? Couldn't you send me somewhere closer?
Thanks for the tree, guys.
Do you
Thanks for
really
sending.
think you'll survive this? I've never been there before.
Echo is here. Alright, ball 4.
Nothing will stand in my way.
Do you really think you'll survive this? I'll fly there. This won't hurt much.
Okay.
Does your life mean that little to you? Do you really think you'll survive this? I've never been there before.
Copy.
Do you really think you'll survive this?
So Echo's coming at our back.
I'll fly there. I hope
We're
I'm getting
facing,
hazard pay for this.
25 in front.
Weaklings.
Bunch of scumbags. Another one for the garbage pile.
Right, sliding left.
Couldn't you say? Do you really think you'll survive this?
Damn tank.
Bunch of scumbags.
All shall be ash. Are you trying to tell
I'm
me
gonna
what
die
to do?
here.
Weaklings.
Wait. Let me test what you guys are saying. Good evening. Wait, I'm building one. Speed? I'm gonna not rage.
conversation as you wish.
Now let me test it. Velen, right? Ming Velen. Okay.
The way of heaven is most ingenious.
A prudent choice.
This was fated to be mine.
It's the bat you guys need.
Waiting orders.
Playing with fire is dangerous.
But I like very dangerous.
Frankly, I
Our enemy. Life is like lightning, brief yet resplendent.
Okay. Okay, I'll try.
frankly
After.
what? Not even a hello.
My brother took me.
Fine. What I do, I comply. An auspicious location. Understood. I comply with the hexagrams. Point me here. I comply with the understood. I do as heaven bids me. Understood. An auspicious location. Understood.
This won't hurt much.
Divine retribution. I do as I comply.
Do you really think you'll survive this?
Understood. An auspicious location.
I hardly broke a sweat.
Go push.
An auspicious like the hexagram. I do as heaven. I do as heaven. I do as an the hex. I do an
Does your life mean that little to you?
I understood.
This won't hurt much.
DPS, hit DPS.
Does your life mean that little to you?
Yeah.
Couldn't you send me somewhere closer?
I comply with heaven's will.
Weaklings. This won't hurt much.
Understood. And an auspicious location. I comply with heaven's will.
Go hit DPS.
I told you I was the best. I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. Does your life mean that little to...
Not even worth my time.
Do you really think you'll survive this? I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. This won't hurt much. Does your life mean that little to you?
The hexagram. I comply with heaven's will.
I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. Do you really think you'll survive?
I comply with heaven's will. The hexagrams point me here. I do as heaven bids me.
Weaklings.
Yes. Let's go. 35 weak.
Does your life mean that little to you? Do you really think you'll survive this?
Yes.
And I comply with heaven's...
This won't hurt much.
Push them out.
I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this.
Can we get a move on? Please?
Yeah, I
Do
think
you
I'm
really
gonna bench
think you'll
Berto
survive
or-
this? Weaklings. I hope I'm getting...
I hardly broke a sweat.
Hardly a challenge. Do you really think you'll survive this? This won't hurt much.
I do as heaven bids me.
Do you really think you'll survive this?
Ming's crit talent, Valiant's crit skill just cooks with Ming's first. Nice.
Weaklings.
Nice, bro. Thanks for the tip. Let's see. Oh yeah, Ming on top.
Do you really think you'll survive this?
This is bull.
I understood the
Need to clear the
hexagram.
tank.
Does your life mean...
And also the hexagram. I do as heaven bids me.
Need to clear the tanks.
Weaklings.
This is bull.
And understood.
Does your life mean that little to you?
And
Okay,
auspicious-
let's go.
I do as heaven.
This won't hurt much.
I'm gonna use my artifacts. Let's go. Boom, boom, boom.
I hardly broke a sweat.
Got one.
The hexagram. I comply with heaven's will.
Does your life mean that little to you?
Wipe them up.
This won't hurt much. I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. Do you really think you'll survive this?
And I come under the the hexagrams point me here.
Does your life mean that little to you? This won't hurt much. The merchant's guild doesn't work their mules this hard. Weaklings.
Cavalry. Cavalry, cavalry.
Do you really think you'll survive this? This won't hurt much. Do you really think you'll survive this? Does your life mean that little to you?
I do, and the hexagrams understood.
I'll get an artifact again.
I hardly broke a sweat.
I do under the hex. I comply an auspicious under an I do as a hexagram. The hexagram. I comply.
Does your life mean?
I under the hexagram. The hexagrams point me here.
I hardly broke a sweat.
I do I come understood. I understood an auspicious.
Weaklings. Does your life mean that little to you? Weaklings.
Hurry up!
The hexagram I understood and I comply. I do the hex. I comply with under the I come an auspicious an auspicious look.
Do you really think you'll survive?
I come under I do and the hexagrams point me here.
This won't hurt.
I hope.
Under the hexagrams point me here. The understood an auspicious locate.
I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this.
An auspicious and I do as heaven.
Does your life mean that little to you? I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this.
Understood. I comply. I comply with heaven's will. An auspicious. I understood.
Does your life mean that little to you?
I comply. The heck. I do as heck.
I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this.
And the heck. The hexagrams point me here.
go here. 2 versus 1.
Fear's on our side now. The night will echo with our...
What is it?
Drogo smells fear. So do I. Flee while you can. Forward. Stop. Flee. Renegade. Storm. Renegade. Stay tight. Stay tight. Renegade. Stay. Storm. Flee while you stay tight. Move fast. Forward. Stay tight. Move. Renegades. Howl with me. Storms of forward, storms of stay forward, flee while you can. Renegades, howl with me. Flee while you can. Renegades, howl with me.
Go.
Flee, stay tight. Renegades, storm, stay tight. Storm, flee, forward, stay forward.
Here comes the cavalry!
Stay tight, forward. Renegades, stay tight, forward. Stop, flee,
fast,
stay
fast.
tight. Move fast.
Show them the cavalry, boys!
Stay storm, forward, renegades, stay flee while you stay. Storms of claws and steel await them.
Remain.
Flee, forward, stay tight. Storms of claw, forward,
go, they
stay
don't
tight.
have tanks.
Move fast. Stay tight. Renegades, forward, renegade, forward.
Nice.
Storms of flee, stay forward. Storms of stay tight. Forward, renegades. Storms of claw, renegades. Flee, forward, stay tight. Stay tight. Stay renegades. Stay forward. Stay tight. Flee while you stay. Renegades, stay tight. Move fast. Stay tight. Move fast.
Blinking! Blink!
Go. Nice scenery here. Follow me.
One got stuck. Fucking infantry.
Time is of the essence.
Sized up. Magmugo ka.
Remain vigilant. Strike when the timing is right.
must remain vigilant. Enough talk. Let the battle begin.
Duncan, do you feel it? The stirring of the elements all around you.
Focus. I am by your side.
Malin kay we moved to EIS because Bert said so.
Playing with fire is dangerous.
What is it?
I hate bugs. What fresh hell is this?
Yeah, we were in Iraq, then we transferred to EIS. Because Bert said so. Bert Kaido here.
Nothing will stand in my way.
My brother took what? Not even a...
The mystery. What is it? And the mysteries of heaven must not be revealed.
This is
the hexagram. I do as heaven. I comply with heaven's will. You have reached your end. This you cannot at two arms. For good or ill, the hex.
Can we get a move?
The hex understood. I comply with heaven's. The hexagrams point me here. I comply with heaven's two arms. For good, you cannot. This is you have reached your end. This two arms. For two arms. This you have reached your end. You cannot escape fate. You have reached. You have reached two arms. You have reached two arms. You cannot. This is heaven's will. For good or ill, this ends here. You cannot escape fate. the hex, an auspish, understood, an os, I, the hex, the hex, I, understood, the hex, understood, I, the hex,
Fine.
I, the hex, I, the hex, I, understood, the hexagram, understood, an auspish, I do as heaven, you have reached your end. I understood. I do the heck and I comply. Understood. I comply and I do and understood. You cannot escape. This is heaven for good or ill. Understood. The heck I understood. The heck I do the heck and I do it. Understood.
Right, pushing.
An auspicious understood. I comply. I do an auspicious location. To arms. This for good or ill, this ends here. Ike the hexagram, Ike the hex, and understood, and auspish the hexagram. I comply with heaven's will.
EIS here. Echo and WD. So NTS enraged the fighting.
Fine.
For good, you cannot. This to arms. For good, you cannot. As you have for good or ill. For good, you have for good. You have reached your end.
Probably war shot.
I understood. I an auspish understood. You cannot escape to arms. The hex and auspish. The hex for good. You for good or you can. You have this is you can to arms. This is heaven to arms. This is heaven's will. And I do the I do under the I do I understood and the heck I do and under the hexagrams and the couldn't you and the hexagram and the hexagrams point me here. I comply with heavens with the hexagrams point me here.
Care for the cavalry.
You have for good or ill. This ends here. I've never been under the hex an auspicious locate under the hexagram understood. I do an auspicious under hex I comply with heaven's will. An auspicious the hex I comply with heaven's will.
All right.
The hexagram I understood. I comply. I do as heaven bids me. This is you cannot do arms. Divine retribution has been served. I comply and I do understood. I do as the heck I comply an auspicious location.
Fine.
This is heaven's will. I comply and I do as I come an auspic on the hexagrams point me here.
Block them.
Hurry up.
Nice block.
Move your feet.
An auspish understood. The hexagrams point me here. And I the heck I do understood. I do understood.
Echo coming.
I do I comply understood. I understood. I do as heaven and auspic. I do as an understood. I comply. I do as heaven. I comply with heaven. The hexagrams point me to arms. And I understood. I do as I comply. I do. I comply. I comply on the hexagram. An auspicious. The hexagrams point me here. I the hex I do it and the hex I do I do the hex I the hex I do as heaven bid. For this is heaven. This is you are you are. You can you have for good or ill. You have for good or ill. You have reached your end. 2 arms. An auspicious I do the hex I comply. I comply with heaven. You can you 2 arms. You this is heaven's will. For you 2 arms. This is heaven's this is heaven's will.
Hardly a
you can't this is heaven's will. You have 2 arms. You for good or ill, this end you have this for good you this for good or this you have reached your end. 2 arms. For this you cannot escape fate. I understand. I do as the hexagrams point me. I comply with heaven's will. I understood. I understood. An auspicious. The hexagrams point me here. I do as heaven bids me. Understood.
I hate bugs. What fresh hell is...
And I comply with heaven's will. You cannot this for good or ill. You 2 arms.
Fine. I hope you thought this through.
You for good or ill, this ends here. You 2 arms. For good, you have 2 arms. An auspicious location. You have reached. This is heaven's will. You this 2 arms. For this you have you 2 arms. For good, you cannot escape fate.
I took
an auspicious the hex and the hexagrams point me here. Understood. An auspicious location. I understood.
This is boring. Can I get there with fire and...
Understood. And I do as understood the hexagrams. I comply the hexagrams. An auspicious. You have reached your end. This is This is heaven's will. You cannot escape fate.
I couldn't
for 2 arms. This is you cannot escape. And I do as heaven bids me. The hexagram. For 2 arms. You can't do for this for 2 arms. For 2 arms. For I do. You can. You do. You for good or ill. You have reached your end. Understood. I do arms. You can't. You have reached. This is heaven's will. This you have reached. 2 arms.
Let's go.
This is for good. You 2 arms. For good or ill. This ends here.
Gotta kill at 10.
This is heaven's will.
Alright, get ready. You're pushing.
I do as an auspicious 2 arms. For good. You cannot escape. You have reached your end. You cannot escape. For good. You have for you for this. You cannot escape. For good or you have, this is heaven's will. You have for good. 2 arms. For good. This is heaven's will. 2 arms. You cannot escape fate. You have for good. This is 2 arms. This for good. For good or 2 arms. For good. You for good or ill. You cannot escape.
Sun's a tad strong.
You understood. I understood. For good or ill, this ends here. You have reached. You for good. 2 arms. For good. This 2 arms. For good or you have for 2 arms. You have for good or ill. You have reached your 2 arms. You have reached your for good or ill 2 arms. You cannot for good or ill. This is heaven. You cannot escape 2 arms. You have for good 2 arms. You have reached your end. The hex. This is an I comply with. I do. You have reached your understood. The hex. I do. The hex. An auspicious. I understood. The hex. Understood. The hex. The hexagrams point. I comply with heaven's will. The hexagram. I comply. Understood. The hexagram. I comply. The hex. I understood. The hex. Under the hex. Under the hex. I do the hex. Understood. The hex. Understood. Understood. Under the hex. I do understood.
Hurry up!
The hex. I comply. Under the hex. The hex. I understood. I do the hex. Understood. Under an auspic. Under the hex.
Fine.
The hex. I do as heaven understood. For good or this is heaven's will. To arms. This is heaven. You have to arms. You have reached this. You can. This is heaven's will. You have reached your end. I do and understand. I do the hex. Understand. You cannot for good or ill. This ends here. The hex. I do under. I comply. Understood. I do as heaven. This is heaven's will. The hex. I do the hex. I understand. The hex. I understood. I understand. The hex. The hex. I understood. The hex an auspicious look understand the hex under the hex I come an auspicious I the hex the hex I understood. This is heaven's will.
Die with honor.
You have reached your end.
Weaklings.
Fuck, man. Fucking 2 versus 1 with Echo. 25. Super hard.
Going in. Alright, keep coming back in. Get ready to repush. Echo's about dead. Our Cavs wipe the floor with them. Should we go flank Echo instead? I almost feel like we should. Where was 25W? 20. I mean, 25 is pretty spread right now. WB is already beating Echo. We don't have enough other units right now. Alright, we're going to go flank Echo, because that's the numbers we have on the field. That's what we're going to do with them. We'll lose a WB if we push down right now anyway. We'd have to gather. Clear these tanks and head right. My marches. Alright, slide up to... We need a new ball. Alright, slide up to ball 7. Yes, Cav still, if you can come back in. We'll make for a flank play. Tell Echo to go fuck off for what they've been flanking on us. We still have enough Cavs to probably do some damage here. Or do we? Maybe Kaz went to refresh, I think. Why are we refreshing? Alright, whatever. Oop, that Katsu guy's not liking that. Get in quick with Cavs and regroup with the team. We'll get 25 later. Let's fill Echo's hospitals. We're not winning statue anyway. Not with what happened in the beginning.
Don't hold back.
Stick together, lads, like seeds in a blackberry pie.
Yargin shall not fall.
Copy, copy.
That's it. One foot in front of the other.
You overestimate yourself.
Ouch. What?
Don't hold back. Only I decide who I am. Where it
Wish you were dead! No quarter! I'm not finished with you!
quiet heart, calm gaze. I will go wherever. What sage of the bottle? Life is like lightning, brief yet resplendent.
Doc!
Do you require guidance? I come the hexagrams point me here. The hex. You have reached this to ours. I comply with the hexagram. I do as I come. This. You have reached your end. To arms. You cannot escape fate.
This is.
I do as an understood. You do arms. For good or ill, you are. You have this. You have reached. This is you. For good or ill, this is heaven's will. For you have reached. you do for good. You can do you do this do for good. You do you do You cannot escape fate.
One bar.
I have
understood. I come for good or ill. This ends here. You cannot do this. You cannot. You have 2 arms. Understood. This is for 2 arms. I do as heaven bid. The hexagon. I understood. An auspicious location. I do as heaven bid. I comply. Understand. The hexagrams point me here. An auspicious location. I understood. I've never been this to and an auspicious. I comply. And I do the heck. And understood. This is heavens. You have reached your end.
Couldn't you send me somewhere closer?
You have reached your end. The heck, and I comply with heaven. And I comply. You for good or you cannot do. You have reached. This is heaven's will. I comply, and I do as heaven. You do are this you for good or this you are. You for good. This is heaven. You have for good or this is heaven's. Do are this you cannot escape. This is heaven's.
I hope I'm handsomely rewarded for this, dear.
You have reached your end. For this is you have do for good or ill. This end you have do are. You cannot escape. This is heaven. For this do are. This you for good or ill. You have reached your end. For good or ill. For good or do are. You have reached. This is for this. You can. You have for do are. You have do are. You have reached. For this. You. This is heaven. You can. This is heaven's. For good or you have. You have. I do as you. This is for good. You have this. You have this. Do are. You cannot escape. You have reached your. I do. I comply. The hexagrams point me here.
Yo.
You 2 arms. This 2 arms. This is heaven. You have 2 arms. I do an auspicious. I comply with heaven's will. I do an auspicious location. I do as the heck. I comply. An auspicious location.
Couldn't you?
The hex. And I understood. I do and I comply. And the hexagrams point me here. And the hexagrams, I comply. An auspicious location.
All right, clear 25. Quickly.
This for good. You for good or you have reached it for good. This is heaven's will. 2 arms. For this you have reached. You have reached your end. You have reached for good. You cannot escape fate. under the hexagram
Right.
under the hexagram.
Back to
I do
bolt
I
two.
comply an auspicious location. I do as heaven bids me. I do as heaven bids me. An auspicious location.
Echo gay.
Understood. An auspicious location.
Yeah, but two.
And I comply. I comply with heaven's will. The heck understand. I do I comply. And I do as heaven bid. I and the hexagrams point me here. Understand. I comply with heaven's will. I and understood.
Where?
I comply with heaven's will. I do as heaven bids me. Understood. The hexagram I do as this is the understood. You can and understood. I undo this. This is you have reached your end. I the hexagrams point the hexagram the hexagram the hex understood. Two arms for good or ill. Two arms. This is for good or you cannot escape. This is heaven's will. Two arms. This is heaven's will. This is you have reached. You cannot escape for good or ill. You have reached for good or ill. Two arms. You have reached your end. This you this is heaven's will. Understood. I comply the hexagrams. This is heaven's will. You have this you this you have you have this is this is heaven's will. You have for good you this is heaven's will. The hexagrams you have for good or ill. This ends here.
It's only level 1. Is it still good?
This you cannot you have reached this for good or ill. You have you for good or ill. You cannot for good or you have for good or ill. This and you cannot escape fate. This you have this is heaven's will. You have reached for this is heaven's this is heaven's you cannot for this is for you this you are for good or ill this you cannot you this you have reached for this you have reached your end. the hex under the hex. I understood. You cannot do. You this is for good or ill. This you cannot. You cannot escape fate. For good or you have reached for dua. This is this is heaven's will. This is heaven's will. Dua.
Hey, Pumbaa.
You have reached. You have this dua. You dua. You do this is you
No,
have,
bad boy.
this is for this you cannot escape for you cannot escape. The hexagrams point me. I do as heaven for this. You have reached your. This is heaven's will. For good or ill. This ends here. You for good or ill. This is heaven's will. You can for good or ill. This you cannot escape. You have reached dua for good or two arms. The hexagram understand. I comply. I do as you cannot escape fate. Understood. The hexagrams point. I comply. I've never. You have reached your end. This is heaven's. You cannot escape. Two arms. For good, you cannot. You have reached your end. For good or ill, this ends here.
I'll try.
For good, you have this. For good, you have this. Couldn't you send me? And I do understand. Two arms. The hex under this. You have the hex. I do. And the hexagrams point me. I comply. This you have reached your end. For good or ill, this is heaven's will. You have reached your end. For good or ill, this ends. You have reached your end. I under an auspic. I understood an I do under I the heck understood the heck I an auspicious under the hex under I an auspicious locate the hexagram an os the hexagram under an os the heck an os I come an os the this dua. You have this, you have for good this dua for good this you for you have dua this you have dua this you dua this is dua you have dua this is you have reached dua you dua for good or ill dua for good or ill you have reached you cannot for you have this for good you have reached your dua you have reached your for good you cannot for good or you dua. You have you can dua. You cannot for good. You dua. You can dua for good. You have duas. You can. You have reached your end. Dua for good. This for good. This is heaven for good or you have this. You can this dua. You can. This is you cannot. You have reached. You can dua. You have reached for good. You have dua. You have this is for good duas. This is you can dua. For good or ill, this ends here. Dua. You cannot, you have reached your end. Two arms. You have reached your end for good or ill. You have reached, you cannot, you have this, you cannot, for good or ill. This ends here. Two arms. You cannot escape. You have reached for good or you have reached your end. You cannot escape fate. You have reached your end. You cannot escape. This is heaven's will. For good or ill, this you cannot escape fate. This is heaven's dua. This for good. You cannot. You have reached your. This is heaven's. You cannot escape. This is heaven's will. You have reached your end.
I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this.
After the fourth. Yeah, Ming on top.
This is even more tiring than I thought.
Playing with fire is dangerous.
Do you require guidance? I do as heaven bids me.
Fine. I hope you thought this.
I do as the hexagram. I do as heaven bids me.
It's a good matchup.
You cannot, for good or ill, this ends here. I do as this you have for good you have reached your end. For good or ill, this ends here. This is heaven's. You have for two arms. I do as for you cannot escape fate. You have reached for good or you do you this is for good or I comply understood I comply this you have for good or you have for good or you have reached your end. You cannot you have reached your end. You have reached for you cannot escape two arms. You this is heaven's will. You this for good you can do this you have you for you cannot for
I told you.
I cannot you this do you have do for good or ill this for you for good or ill
Child's play.
You do you cannot escape.
Fine.
This you cannot escape for two arms. For you have reached your end. Do for good or do you for this you have
Alf.
I do as heaven this you have this for good or you have for good this is heaven's will and you have for good or you have two arms. I comply with you two arms. For good or ill this ends here. This is heaven's will. You have reached your end. For good or ill for good this you cannot escape. For you this is heaven's will. For you cannot escape fate. For good or ill this ends here. You have reached your end. For you cannot you have reached your end. I the hex you cannot escape. You have you cannot escape fate. You have reached your end. For good you cannot escape fate. For good you have this for good or ill you have you have reached this this you have you have reached you cannot escape fate. For good or ill this ends here. This you have reached you have for this is have you for you have you cannot you this you for this you have reached this is heaven for you can this you this is heaven's the hexagrams point for good or ill and understand I do it I come you this is for you this you have for you for good or this you you cannot escape fate. This is you cannot you have reached your end. You can this is heaven's will. You have for good or ill you cannot for you have this is heaven's for you have for good or this you cannot escape fate. This is heaven's will. I cannot the hexagrams. You have.
I live in harmony. Sage of as you wish.
You have reached this. You are.
Do you feel it? Return and ready yourselves.
This you do. You can. You have reached your. You are. You cannot escape fate. You have. You are. This is heaven's will. You have reached. This is heaven's will. You cannot escape fate. You have reached the hex. You cannot escape fate. You have reached. This is for good or ill. This ends here. You have reached your end. You for good or ill.
I told you I was.
You cannot escape fate. You cannot escape fate. This is heaven's will. This is for you. This is heaven's will. You cannot escape fate. I come the heck. I understood the hex. Understood an auspicious location. I come the hex. I do an auspicious location. This is you for you for good. You cannot as for good or ill. This ends here. You have reached two arms. This is you cannot escape two. You have reached your this two. You can for good or this you can this you cannot escape for good or ill. This ends here. You have for good or ill.
Child's play.
You cannot for good. You cannot escape. For good, you cannot. This is heaven's you cannot.
I told you I was the best choice.
This is for good or ill. This ends here. You cannot. You have reached for good or ill. You have reached the. I comply. You cannot. You have reached. You cannot. The hex. Understood. An auspicious. Understood. The hexagrams point. You have reached. This is for you have reached. You this. You have reached your end. For this you are this you cannot you have reached your.
I've never been.
I do it. You cannot. I comply. You have this is you cannot. This is you have for good. You have reached your end. For good. This you have reached. You have you are this you have reached your end. This is heaven. This is heaven's will. For you. This is heaven's will. You have for two arms. This is for good or ill. You have reached your end. This is heaven's will. For good you cannot escape. For good you cannot. Two arms. You cannot escape fate. The hex. An auspicious look. I understood. You have reached.
I've never been.
This is for you have. You can. This is heaven's will. An auspicious location. You are for good or ill. This you cannot. As you have reached your end. For good or ill. This ends here.
Some child's.
An auspicious. For good or ill. An auspicious look. I comply. You cannot. For good or ill. You can. You have. You for this. You are. You have reached. You can. You
hardly.
This. You have reached your end. The hex. I do it. And I do the hex. The hex. For good. You have this. For good or ill. For good or ill. You this.
I told you I was the best choice. Hardly a
You have. You can. This. Two arms. You this is for good or ill. This you for good or this for good or ill. You can for do. You have reached. You cannot as this do this for good or ill. This you can do. This is you have reached. You have you for do. You this is heavens. You have reached your end. For this do. This is you cannot for this do. For this is for this for good. You cannot escape this for do. This is heaven. You for good do for do. You can. You have you this do. You have you can. This is heaven. You have you can. This for good arms. You have reached arms. You have reached your end. You cannot escape fate. You have reached. You. This is heaven's two arms. You cannot escape fate. This is heaven two arms. I do as the hexagrams point me here. You have two arms. You have two arms. This is heaven's for good. You have reached your end. You have two arms. You can for good or ill. Two arms. You cannot escape fate. Two arms. Two arms. I comply with this. Two arms. You have reached your end.
I hope I'm handsomely rewarded for this, dear. Not even worth my time.
I comply with heaven.
It is an honor to be consumed by my flames. Face the flames! It is an honor to be consumed by my flames. I face the flames!
Not even worth my time.
This is boring!
Understood.
Bow before me!
Easy one, 25. Easy 25.
I do as heaven bids me. I comply the hexagram. An auspicious location. The hexagram.
Face! Not even worth my time.
No earthquake.
Bow before me!
I do as heaven bids me.
Fine. I hope you
Face the flames! Bow before me! Bow before me!
Damn, we got hit like a very strong earthquake. No, I'm serious. I was playing this. I'm not.
Hurry up!
Yeah.
Move your feet!
Just had an earthquake here. Yeah, it
Bow
says
before me!
3 to 4.
This is boring! Can I go play with fire instead? Fools!
Like everyone here panicked and I was just playing. Yeah.
Face the flames! It is an honor to be consumed by my flames! to move on. Please face the flame! Bow before me! You know, I'm suddenly... My brother took me somewhere like this once. My brother took me somewhere like this once.
Damn, aftershocks. It says 5.3.
This was fated to be mine.
So has a good eye.
Playing with fire is dangerous.
Do you feel it? The stirring of the elements all around you.
Couldn't you? An auspicious... I comply. The hexagrams point me here. I do as heaven bids me. I come to an auspicious the hexagrams point me here. an auspicious understood, and I do as heaven bids me. I do understood. Understood. I do as heaven. The hexagrams. I comply with heaven's will.
This won't hurt much. I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this.
I do as heaven bids me, and I come.
Do you really think you'll survive this?
The hexagram.
Do you really think you'll survive this? Weaklings.
I do as heaven bids me.
Couldn't
I comply with heaven's understood. I comply.
Does your life mean that little to you?
I understood. I understand an auspicious location. I do as heaven bids. Understood. I do understood. An auspicious location.
Does your life mean that little? Merchants.
The hexagrams point me here.
Does your life mean that
I comply. The hexagrams point me here. I do it.
I hope I'm getting hazard pay. I've never.
The hexagrams point me here. The hexagrams point me here. I comply. The hex. I do as.
Do you really think you'll survive this?
An auspicious location. I do as I comply with.
I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this.
Understood.
Do you really think you'll survive this? I'll.
I do as heaven bids me.
Does your life mean that little to you?
I comply with heaven's will.
Do you really?
Understood.
This won't hurt much. Does Does your life mean that little to you? Do you really think you'll survive this?
This is boring. Can I go play with fire instead?
I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this.
Fine.
I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. Do you really think you'll survive this? I hope I'm getting
an auspicious location.
Does your life mean that little to you?
Under the heck I do understood and the heck I do the hexagon I do the heck I understand
I've never
the hexagon understood understood I do an auspicious under I comply under the heck understood an auspicious under the heck under
This is
the heck under I comply the heck under the hexagon the hexagon the hexagon the hexagon under I comply. I do the hexagrams under the hexagon.
This won't hurt much. I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. Does your life mean that little to you?
And I comply.
Weaklings! Do you really think you'll survive this? This won't hurt much. Does your life mean that little to you? Weaklings! This won't hurt much. Couldn't you send me somewhere closer? This can't be.
You know, frankly, I'd suggest we stay here instead.
Life is like our enemy's time. I live it. Once have feelings. Sage of eternity lies ahead of us.
This is even more tiring than I thought.
Playing with fire is dangerous. But I like a little danger.
Not bad.
Tremble before me!
Do you require guidance?
I've never been there before.
The hexagrams. I do as heaven bids me. I comply.
I'll fly there.
I comply with heavens. I do as heaven bids me. Under an auspicious location. An auspicious location. An auspicious location. I do as heaven. I do understood. I do as heaven bids me. An auspicious location. I understood. The hexagrams point me here. An auspicious location. I comply with heaven's will. I understood. I do as heaven bids me. I do as I comply with heaven's will. Understood. I understood. I comply with heaven's will. Under an auspicious location. An auspicious understood. An auspicious understood. I do it. The hexagram. The hexagrams point me here. Understood. An auspicious location. I do as heaven bids me.
The Merchants Guild doesn't work their mules this hard.
Understood. I do as heaven bids me. An auspicious I comply. The hexagram. The hexagram. The hexagram. An auspicious. I comply with heaven's will. I comply and I comply with an auspicious location.
Let's go.
I'll fly there.
I understood. I do as heaven bids me. The
Bow before me. Face the flames.
just as foreseen. I comply. Understood. And I do as the hexagrams point me here.
Team Stark, very few.
I'll burn you all.
An auspicious location.
Bow before me.
Yeah, some are not following.
Frankly, I'd suggest you know.
My warriors!
Ouch! Watch the toes.
No quarter! So chaos follows. Eradicate! Annihilate! You're just slowing me down! Bring me your strongest warriors! I'll tear them apart! Beg for a swift death! Even to the next slaughter!
I'll block them!
Carry on!
Nothing is forbidden.
Don't keep me waiting.
Burn!
Duty calls.
Pain is I'm sorry.
An auspicious I comply with heaven's will.
Tremble before me!
You can't. This is heaven's will. Understood. I do as I do. Understood. An auspicious the hexagram. I comply. And the hex. Understood. You cannot escape fate. An auspicious location. I comply. And I do as the hex. An auspicious. Understood. The hexagram. Understood. And the hexagram. I do understand. An auspicious. I do as I come. Understood. The hexagrams, I comply, the hexagrams, and I comply with an auspicious the hexagram. I do the I comply, an auspicious. I do as heaven under the I do under the I do as an auspicious and the hexagram. Couldn't you? I comply and understood. I comply. This is heaven's will. To arms. For you have reached your end. You cannot escape fate. Understood. an auspicious. You cannot. You cannot escape. You have reached. You cannot escape fate. For Duar, you Duar. For Duar, you cannot. This is heaven's will. The hexagram. I under the hex. For you have reached. This is under, and I do as I the an auspicious location. And I comply with the hexagram. The hexagram. I understand the hexagram. I comply. I do the hexagrams. Point on the hexagrams. Point me here. Auspicious locate I comply I comply an auspicious and I do as the hex an auspicious you have reached your end. You for good to arms. This is heaven's will. To arms. I do as under the you have reached this for you cannot escape fate. For good or ill, this ends here. For good or ill, you cannot escape fate. For the hexagrams point me here.
Couldn't you send me?
I understood. The hexagram understood. The hexagram understood. I do I comply for good. I do it. The hexagram auspicious. I do. I under. You have reached your end. For good or ill, this ends here. To arms. You have reached your end. This is heaven's will. You have reached your end. You have reached your end. This this you have reached you have for this is you have reached you for good or ill. This ends here. You cannot escape fate. You have reached your this you cannot for this is for you have reached your end. You for this you have you have two arms. You do for good. You cannot escape for good or ill. This you do for good. This is heaven's will. For this is you have this you cannot escape fate. For this is under I comply. You this for good or ill. You have reached your you cannot you have reached your end. This you have two arms. Couldn't under heck I come on you cannot an auspicious location. You have reached this two arms. You have reached your end. This is heaven's will. You have reached your end. For good or ill, you have reached for two arms. This you have reached your end. For this for good or ill, you have reached your end. This for this is you have for you cannot as two arms. You have two arms. For good you two arms. You this two arms. You this is heaven's you have two arms. I do an auspicious locate an auspicious two arms. You this you have two arms. This is heaven's will. Two arms. This is two arms. You have two arms. This is two you have two arms. For you cannot escape. You have.
I hardly broke a sweat.
You cannot escape fate. Two arms. This for good. This is heaven's will. Two arms. You for good or ill. You have this. You have reached your end. This is for good. Two arms. An auspicious. You do this. Two arms.
Depleted.
You the hexagram. An auspicious. An auspicious. The hexagrams point. The hex. This is heaven's will.
Couldn't
That
you?
means
The hex,
they got
the
hurt.
hexagram. You have under an auspicious under hexagrams. Point me here. You are an you have an I comply. An auspicious the hex I an
Well, I
under
got
hexagrams.
it
Point me here.
recorded
You have reached your
2.1K.
end. I come for you have an auspicious locate for you are for you have this you have you can for good or ill. This ends here.
I hope I'm.
Nice.
You cannot under hexagrams point to are for good do you have do are this for good or this you do arms. This is heavy this you do arms. For this you cannot escape this you cannot escape for do arms. You this is heaven's will.
I hope I'm handsomely rewarded.
The hexagrams I do as you have for this you can do for good or ill. This end the hexagram and I come the understood. An auspicious I do as an under and I do an I comply and the hexagrams point me I do for good or ill. This ends here. I do as heaven bid. I comply with heaven's will. I do and I understood.
Couldn't you
understand? I comply. I understood and I comply with heaven's will. You cannot escape. You have two arms. You have this is you have reached your end. I comply an auspicious location. You have reached understand you have two are for good or ill. This is for who are much understood an auspicious location. You two are for you have reached your end. The hex I do the hex I comply with the hexagram. You can for good or ill under the hex you this for you can for good or ill. This you two arms. This is heavens for good or ill. This you two arms. The hexagram I understood. You have you for this two are for two are. You this two are you this is heaven's with for you have this you have reached your end. This you cannot you have this is you have this is have you have reached two for good or this for good two are. This you have reached you this is heaven I you cannot you have reached your end. Much you cannot escape. This you have reached. This is heaven's will. For you for good. You cannot escape fate. This is heaven's. You cannot do you for good or ill. This ends here. I do under I comply with you. You have for good or ill. This ends.
How much do you have?
Understood. I do as and I comply the hexagram. I do as heaven bids me. You cannot this you do this two arms. You cannot you have reached for two arms. This is you have reached your end. I understood an auspicious location. And I do as this two arms. This you cannot two arms. You have reached. You cannot escape this two arms.
Yeah. We're here to fight.
You for good or this you are. You do this. You have reached. This is you have reached your. I do understood. And I do as I an auspicious do for good. You for good you do. This is heaven for you cannot do for good. This you have reached your do. This you have reached your end. This is you have reached. You have this. You cannot do for good or ill. This for good. You have this is you cannot. This is heaven. You cannot do for good or ill. The hexagram. I do as heaven bids me. And I do as an auspicious the hexagram. And the hexagrams point me here. An auspicious location. I understood. I come under an understood. The understood. You for good. This you are for you. This is you have reached your end. You can for good or it. The you do are understood. You do are understood. I do for this is an auspicious understood. An auspicious I come. You cannot escape. You have for you do are you have reached. You cannot escape fate. You have reached. You have this is for this. You can't do. You have reached. You have this for you for good or ill. This ends. You. This is This is for good or ill. This you. This is you. You cannot escape fate. For two arms. This is for you. This is heaven's will. I do for you. You have this for under. I do understood. This you cannot. You have reached for you can for good or you have reached your end. And I come an auspicious location. You can this you cannot as you are you this you cannot escape the hex I comply with heaven's this you for good or this you are you cannot you this is heaven's will.
Son,
I do on the hexagrams point me here. This you have reaped. You this is I do as I understood. I understand. I comply with the heck an auspicious an auspicious location. An auspicious I understood. I comply with heaven's will. I understand. I comply with heaven's will. I do as heaven bids me. And I do as heaven bids me. And I comply. I do and I comply with heaven's will. I do as an auspicious I understood. I do it for good. You this you for you have reached an auspicious for good or you this is for you this for you cannot as for good you have reached your end. For good or ill, this end you have for good for good or ill you have reached your end. You have for this. I understood, and I comply, and I comply with heaven's will. You cannot. You for good or ill. This ends here. Under the hexagrams understood, and the hexagrams point me here.
Couldn't you?
And I understand. I do it. 2 arms. This is heaven's will. You cannot escape fate. For good or ill, this ends here. You have reached your end. And the hex and I the hexagram under the hexagram under I an auspicious I the hex I an auspicious I understood an auspicious you cannot escape good I this you cannot escape fate. You can this.
I hope
I the hexagram. You cannot escape fate, and I do and I do as heaven bid. Understood. The path of destiny may change at any moment. It is of great benefit to come and go as one pleases.
As you wish.
For you cannot escape fate.
smart.
I compete. You do are. You cannot escape. You have do are. You did do are. This is heaven's will. You cannot escape fate. This is you cannot escape the path of destiny. Let us return. Nothing is forbidden.
Don't keep me waiting.
This is even more tiring than... Couldn't you send me somewhere closer?
I do as heaven bids me.
Oh!
An auspicious location. I do as heaven bids me. Understood. I comply with the hexagon. I comply with heaven's will. I understood. An auspicious location.
Does your life mean that little to you?
Understood. And I do as heaven bids.
Weaklings!
The hex. I understood. I comply with heaven's will.
I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. Do you really think you'll survive this?
The hexagram. An auspicious location. I comply with heaven's will. The hex. The hex. I understood. The hex. I comply. An auspicious. The hexagram. An auspicious. I comply. Understood. An auspicious location.
I hope
I've never been there before. This won't hurt much.
You have reached your end.
Sun's a tad strong. I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. Weaklings!
The hexagrams point me here.
Does your life mean that little to you? Weaklings!
I come the hexagram. I do as I understood. An auspicious. I do as an auspicious location.
Does your life mean that little to you?
The hexagram. An auspicious location.
getting hazard pay for this.
An auspicious location.
Not even worth my time.
I do as heaven bids. The hexagrams. An auspicious. I do as heaven.
Weaklings.
And the hexagrams point me here.
I hope I'm handsome.
An auspicious look.
Do you really think you'll survive this?
The hexagrams point me here.
I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this.
I understood. I do as heaven bids me.
I hope I'm handsomely rewarded for this, dear.
The Merchant's Guild.
The hexagrams point me here. I do it. Understood. An auspicious. I do it.
I've never been there.
An auspicious location. The hexagrams point me here. Understood.
Weaklings. This won't hurt much. I hope I'm getting hazard pay for
He
this.
got hurt. Yeah.
This
Let's
won't
see
hurt
all their talk
much.
when we fight them in the final zone.
An auspicious. Understood. I understood.
Do you really think you'll survive this? This won't hurt much.
Yeah, that's what happened. Remember, Echo? I beat your ass. 2 versus 4.
I hope
Yeah,
I'm getting
boy,
hazard
gave it
pay
to
for
me.
this.
The heck I come understood. The hexagrams point me here.
Never forget.
Does your life mean that little to you?
Understood. I do as heaven bids. The understood. I comply. The hexagram. Understood. And the hexagrams. The hexagram. An auspicious location. I comply. Understood. An auspicious.
Yeah,
Understood.
they want-
I
they
do
want-
as heaven bids me. I understood. The hexagrams point me here.
I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this.
An auspicious. The hexagrams point me here. I comply with heaven's will. An auspicious the hexagrams point me. Understood. I comply with heaven's the hexagrams point me here.
Weaklings. I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. Does your life mean that little to you? Do you really think you'll survive this? I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this.
an auspicious
This won't hurt much. Do you really think you'll survive this? Weaklings. The merchant's guild doesn't work their mules this hard. I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this. Weaklings.
I comply with heaven's will.
This won't hurt much. Do you really think you'll survive? Couldn't you set...
I do as heaven bids me.
Weaklings. Does your life mean that little to you?
An auspicious locate. I comply. I do understood.
Well, they yap too much.
I do as and I do. The hexagrams point. Understood. An auspicious.
Does your life?
I do an auspicious location.
Yeah.
This won't hurt much.
Wait till
I comply with heaven's will.
Weaklings. This won't hurt much.
The hexagon understood. Under the hexagram understood. I comply with heaven's will.
that guy was.
I
That guy's
hope
so
I'm
mad
getting
at me.
hazard pay for this.
His ass when he was video.
Not
He's
even worth my
also
time.
Does your life mean that? I've never been there
Yes.
before.
I
like
do
one
as
guy
I
told me
comply
that
with
that guy's
heaven's
actually,
will.
Diagnosed with something.
I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this.
I do the hexagram. I comply. I comply. An auspicious location.
Weakling.
I do as heaven bids me. I do and understood. I comply with heaven's will. I comply with understood. I understood.
Does your life mean that little to you? I hope I'm getting hazard pay for this.
Understand? I do as the hexagrams point me here. I do an auspicious location.
Do you really think
Just
you'll
fight,
survive
bro.
this?
An auspicious location. I comply. I comply with heaven's will.
You don't want to see me?
This won't
I'll
hurt
fight.
much.
Stand my ground. Die with honor.
Does your life mean that little to you?
I do an auspicious location.
It is an honor to be consumed by my flames.
I comply with heaven's will.
Fear's on our side now. Ride with me!
Follow me. Remain vigilant. Follow me.
The ground trembles with the footsteps of our ancestors.
Remain vigilant.
Forever onwards!
Ma'am Pres, luway ka itong store, Ma'am Pres. Oh my God. Oh my God, ang store. Luway kayo. Ma'am Pres, luway ka itong store, Ma'am Pres. Oh my God. Oh my God, ang store. Luway kayo. Ma'am Pres, luway ka itong